In this video, I'll be showing you the best way to find cash buyers utilizing PropStream. Let's jump over to the computer. You'll hit filters up at the top here. Then immediately I want you to hit the quick list choices, go to the drop down and hit cash buyers. If you look on the right side there, your cash buyers is over 56,000 folks. Now to even skip trace that many people, it's just absurd, right? One, those folks may not even buy the deal that you're selling. It might not even fit their criteria. And two, to skip 56,000 records, it's going to cost you quite a bit. And let's say, again, you're starting out, you're not going to skip trace 56,000 folks just off the gate. So we need to narrow this down a little bit. So after you select the cash buyers list, what you do next, right? So you go into the property characteristics. What type of deal is this? Is this a single family? Is it a multifamily, etc.? Let's use the example of a single family home. So we'll click residential, and then on the property types, we'll click a single family home. Okay. Next, again, we're just narrowing this number down. Later down the line, if the number is way too narrow, way too small, we'll start pulling back on some of these triggers and some of these filters. But next, let's say your property is a 3-bed, 2-bathroom, pretty common across the United States. We can either specifically say 3 beds, 2 bath, nothing else. And again, we'll watch the number on the corner there to see how far down it narrows it down. So we'll say max 3 bedrooms and max 2 bathrooms. Right? So we just sliced it to 15,000. Okay? Next, a very good metric to get in the habit of adjusting is the year built. And when you're comping, you can range within a 10-year period. So if it's a 1980 build, you can go up to a 1990 build. So for this example, let's just assume that it is a 1980 build. So we can go back 10 years and we can go forward 10 years. So for a 1980 build, we're going to put 1990 as our max, and we'll put 1970 as our minimum. So our number just narrowed from about 50,000, and we sliced that in half to about 1,100, right? So next, what we do next is we go into ownership information, right? And for owner type, what we're going to do is select individual. The reason being is you are going to skip trace this list, and so you may not have access to skip trace corporates or LLCs. So let's choose individuals. The next step after this is the minimum amount of properties that this particular buyer owns. At the very least, you want either 4 or 5 properties. Again, it depends how low these numbers are filtered, right? So let's start with a 4 minimum properties, right? So we just went from 300 to about 190, almost 200, right? Next, what we'd like to do is, into the ownership tab, I forgot one filter. Here, what you like to do, or what you need to do, is adjust the last sale price, right? If you're selling your property at, let's use an example of 150,000, but your buyers are buying above 200,000, this may not fit their criteria. So let's narrow this down a little bit more. Let's put the last sale price was, again, for an example's sake, 150,000, right? So we have right now 137 potential buyers, cash buyers, that are buying residential single families, with 3-bedroom, 2-bath from 1970 to 1990. It's an individual, so you can skip trace them. And then the last purchase price, right? The last sale price was $150,000 or less, right? And how many properties do they currently own in their portfolio? Minimum of 4. The next step, and one of the most crucial steps, is you need to adjust how far back these buyers are active. And so what you do is you go into the ownership information, the last sale date. I typically like to pull buyers from 3 to 6 months, but as an example, let's go back 1 year. So let's go back to today, 1 year ago, and let's just choose one day. So going back 1 year, it gives us one buyer buying for cash at a minimum of $150,000 or less, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, single family, and they own at least 4 properties. So this is a legit buyer. The problem with this is that it's only one buyer. And so let's adjust some filters to try and grow that a little bit. What we can do to adjust these levers a little bit, it's on your bedroom and bath count. What you can do is set the minimum to 3 on the bedrooms and minimum to 2 bathrooms on the minimum. So anything above 3 bed, 2 bath, it'll pull up. Let's see what we get. Individual, 3, 1 or later, 4. For this particular filters, we don't have anyone, right? So for this example, in Atlanta, Georgia, looking for cash buyers, if you have a deal, single family deal, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath or more, ranging from 1970 to that 1990, there's no buyers, right? So when this happens, it's either we have number of properties too many for a potential buyer, the purchase price is too little or too big, so you can adjust. But another indicator is nobody's buying these deals. So what you can do, this is the time where you probably reach out to folks and JV with them. Now let's try the same filters in a different market. Let's try a Jacksonville market and see. I won't change any of the filters and see exactly what happens in a different market. Boom. In Jacksonville, there's a lot of buyers buying $200,000 and less with 4 properties or more, with a year build of 1970 to 1990, single family, 3 bed, 2 bath, within the last year. So you have 20 cash buyers in the market that are active in the last year. That's 20. That's very easy to skip trace. For skip tracing, I recommend Skip Genie. I mean, it has been the best skip tracing platform out there, bar none, and I've tried a lot. So what I would do after this is you come in here, you click unique properties, you click add to list. Here you can type in there Jacksonville, Florida, cash buyers, under 200K, a little fly, under 200K. Basically just regurgitate the filters into that search bar. You don't have to put every single filter in that search bar, but just to where you will remember. And this, folks, is literally the best way to find cash buyers in your market in 2024. Again, if you run this experiment with a current deal you have and you find 0 buyers, it either means you have to let loose on the filters a little bit. There are no buyers buying those type of deals in that market, Or 3, you need to JV with someone who's actually doing deals in that market and may have a grip on the buyers. If this helped you, leave it in the comments below and stay tuned for the next one.